Happy New Year. It's 1st of January 2025. I'm on my own. Kirsten's had to go to Nottingham to look after a mum who's not very well at all. So I've got a couple of days, maybe 3 days on my own. I didn't do much for New Year's Eve. Well, I didn't do anything really. I actually went to bed about 10 o'clock, but I couldn't sleep. So I did wake up at about 20 to midnight. I just nodded off for a little while, but I just wasn't very comfortable. So I got up and I watched Jules Holland programme for a couple of hours. That was all right, actually. I really enjoyed that. Went back to bed about 2 o'clock and got up at 8 this morning. So yeah, 6 hours sleep in the end. Wasn't too bad for me. Today I've just been sorting things. It is miserable, as you probably saw by that little clip of the weather earlier on. So I've done a bit of business stuff, had a look at some auctions that we're bidding on, and picked some orders that we have got to send out on Friday when we officially go back to work. So it's all really about planning now. I don't do an awful lot in the garden in January. I'm going this year in particular. I've got loads and loads to plan, to order stuff, work out exactly what we're going to do with the garden this year. So this video will be more sort of talky and sort of working out where we're going to put things, what we're going to do with the borders, where we're going to put some more raised beds, that sort of thing. And when the winds calm down a little bit, maybe later on today, we'll have a walk around the garden and just discuss what is going to happen in 2025. But I've done 2 or 3 hours work now, so the darts is on in about an hour. I'm going to have a bit of a rest now, watch a little bit of darts, and then we'll see where we get to for the rest of the day. Good morning. It's the next day. It's the 2nd of January. Yesterday it was just rubbish weather nearly all day, too windy to do anything, so I stayed in. I did some jobs inside, but anyway, today is much nicer. The wind's really calmed down. It is really cold, bit of frost, not a lot, just a bit of frost. So I'm going to do some work today. I haven't done anything really in the garden for 3 weeks, something like that. Me and Kirsten both got, well, we think we got COVID. It was certainly something like that anyway. Felt rubbish for a couple of weeks. So what's been happening in the garden? The little woodland area looks really good. Really happy with this. And we're going to extend this. I think I'm going to do a bit of this today. All woodland style planting, make it a very natural sort of area under the horse chestnut tree. So I moved this fern from around the front about a month before Christmas and just planted it in there and dug out a little bit more of the turf. So I think in the next few days I'm going to join those two together. So dig out the turf all the way to that section, make it one big bed. I don't know whether I'll get it all done straight away, but yeah, that's the plan, because as I say, this fits in absolutely spot on into the garden. And this is where that horrible big conifer was. As I say, I couldn't get the stump out, but it's left quite a nice feature. Look at the colours there. But that was that conifer that was sort of going right up into the horse chestnut. Back on the earlier videos to see what that looked like, but massive improvement. So that's one job that I'm going to get on with in the next, well, certainly within this week or two. And the other one is a pretty major job, and that is I'm going to plan exactly where we're going to put this new vegetable patch, and it's going to go somewhere in front of the 3-bay compost bin. So I'm going to mark that out, I think, now. And again, it can start off small and it can extend over time. The idea is the kitchen garden, which is just there, has all the smaller raised beds, and there's plenty for a lot of the stuff that we're going to grow. But things like potatoes, things like runner beans, French beans would take up too much space too soon. So the stuff that we don't need loads of space for will go in there, and the greenhouses. The fruit bed here, which will be extended, and here potatoes, runner beans, anything that takes up a bit more space. And that is what we're going to start today. Okay, so we're going to put it approximately in line with the compost bin. So that is 3.5 meters, 6x1s across there. And then I'm just going to split one. So what's that? 1.25 meter in width, and mark that out. So connect those all together to make a raised bed type structure. Mark it out, and then I am going to take the top layer of turf off. I know I could do no dig principles where I just cover with cardboard and then put compost on, but one, I need some topsoil. So if I take the turf off, I can then use that turf and topsoil to fill up those beds over there, the 2 new ones that I made, because there's not enough depth of soil there. So I'm going to use that, and then it'll all be nicely cut out. And then after that, I am sort of like looking at no dig, where all I do is layer up compost year after year rather than dig into it. But initially I am going to dig that top off. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do now. I think it's gone colder. Didn't seem to be any frost on this side of the garden about half an hour ago, and it's probably frosting up now. So yeah, it's going to have to keep me warm doing all this sowing. Come on. Jenny's decided to join me. She's been a bit of a wimp today. I wanted to go inside the house. Come on, let's go get you a treat. Treat? Treat or house? Come on, let's get a treat. Some of the Christmas presents. You want one of these? Yeah? Can't open them with one hand. So, let's put that down there for a second. Ah! Right. Oh, I can't even open them with 2 hands. My hands are too cold. Right, what about one of these? Sit. Sit. What about one of those? Is that better? Yeah. Here. Pick up my camera or my phone. And she still wants to go inside, but with her treat. I am knackered. Don't know whether it's just getting over this COVID or whatever it was, but whoa, hard work. Cup of tea for definite now. So I made a start on it, done the frame, worked out where it's going to go, started digging the top layer of turf off, and I'm taking some of the turf over to the other raised beds. So yeah, that's about as far as I'm going to go, and then I'll dig that over. And they'll be spot on for, I think the first thing that's going to go in here are potatoes. And so there's an element of digging the soil anyway for the potatoes. You have to either dig a trench if you don't do the no dig and put into compost. So I fancy putting in potatoes to start with, seeing what the soil's like properly. And then after that, we'll start doing no dig. But yeah, you get an idea. I won't film the rest of that over the next couple of days because it'll be a bit dull, and it'll take me bloody ages. But if I can get that done, what day is it today? Thursday, I think. If I can get that done by the end of the weekend at the latest, I'll be happy with that, and then we'll start working on the woodland section. But definitely now, a cup of tea. Should we go in for a cup of tea and a biscuit? Do you fancy a biscuit? You just want to play stick? No. Tea and biscuits, come on. So this is what I've been using the upturned turf to fill. So remember, a lot of this is on foundations from the big fish ponds. So there's literally 2 or 3 inches of soil, if that, on certain areas. So I've just been building this up to try and make it so it's a decent raised bed. So I'll just turn this turf, fill in all the gaps, let that rot down over winter before we plant. I mean, I might still put a layer of shop bought sort of compost as well to plant into, but this should rot down quite nicely. And then we've got at least sort of 8-9 inches of soil depth for this now, or we will have when it's all finished, which should make a decent bed. So for this one, I'm hesitant to start this because I'm still using some of this lettuce and pak choi and the sort of spinach and beetroot leaf, but as you can see, there's gaps down there. And again, some of this goes quite deep, but then there's certain bits which are sort of like big foundations for a good couple of feet wide, and they're 3-4 inches deep of soil. So if we can get another sort of 4 or 5 inches from upturned turf on here as well, I think that will set us up nicely, ready for the new season. It's a couple of days later now. We've gradually got this dug out, which I shall show you. So that's ideal for initially my potatoes, but I'd say probably do runner beans in there as well. It's Monday morning and it is bloody horrible. It's been raining all night. It's going to rain for another 13-14 hours. Bit of flooding in the fields, but hopefully nothing for us to worry about. And then where I dug out that vegetable patch yesterday, or the last few days, that's not looking too good. It's our own little personal swimming pool. First time it's looked like this since we've been here, which is nearly 6 months now. We did know that this field sometimes sort of surface floods. That's the first time we've seen it. As I say, not too concerned, but at least the rain is due to stop after today for a few days. Hasn't stopped yet, and it's getting worse. Luckily we do go up around here a little bit, a few inches, so I'm hoping that we're still okay, but that's a little bit concerning. It's coming off that field under the fence and then sort of pooling down here, and now it's running into this border as well. That side's not so bad. Should we go and have a look at the garden? What's left of it? Come on. Are you coming, Daddy? Come on. Are you coming or what? Right, this way. This way. Which way? Should we go the way you want to go? Come on in. Come on. Right, so it's got a bit worse, a little bit concerning. I still don't think we'll have a major problem, as in the house. But that greenhouse, well, both greenhouses are now flooded. Down here is, and it is getting closer to the house. What's this? Are you coming? She's not so sure. I'm gonna walk onto that because I would get soaked. So we've still got this dry, and I don't think it's gonna go up to that level. That would be the weakest point. Very squelchy. I've only got Crocs on as well, which is pretty stupid, but she's been braver. It seems to be getting in there, so this field here is pretty flooded, and then it's trickling underneath the fence, going through this section, creating our new pond. And this is pretty deep. So I just looked at the forecast, and it supposedly is going to stop raining now, and we've not got much rain forecast for the next 3 or 4 days, so fingers crossed we'll be alright. My only concern is if we have really heavy rains now, we know what's happening, but we do get a bit of surface flooding. I'm just hoping that we're okay in the future. Jenny's enjoying it now. She's always liked water. Where's your stick? Your stick's actually floating over there. Get off there. That's muddy. Too cold and too wet to be able to get on with anything today, so well, outside. So I have made this trellis. It's not quite finished yet, but it's for the side of the house where I did that other border, dug out that border the other day. So yeah, that's been this afternoon's job. I'll show you where it's going. So that should go nicely on that wall. Kirsten wants to grow sweet peas, and that's a good position. It gets a load of sun. And we'll have something else up that side, and then the new trellis on this side. But that's it for today. I'm going to go in. It's too cold and too wet. Right, so a couple of hours later, that is done. So that has improved that massively. If you remember, that bed wasn't like that before. It was just a tatty old bed. Now we have two clean trellises, very, very solid. You're not sure it'll come off the wall. No, that is solid. So we can we've got a blank canvas basically for spring this year. Cost wise, I think it was about 6 lengths of that 2x1. I don't know the exact price, but they were less than a £5 each, so 25-30 quid. It's very substantial. It's 60 inches by 70 inches. So God knows what that would cost in a garden centre, but a lot more than that. And we have recovered. It's all gone. We woke up this morning and the lake that the garden was yesterday is totally dry. So we've got good drainage, which is good to know, because we've got a bit of clay in this soil, so we thought we might hang around. This is totally empty as well, all around there, and that was literally 18 hours ago. This was all flooded. There's still a bit of flooding in the field because that is all clay in there, and so it was then running off there through the woodland section onto here, but it's all gone, so that is good. Not sure what would have happened if it had rained continuously, whether there'd have been any threat, but we're going to get some sandbags for the conservatory doors, just to have safe in case we get some really extreme weather. But yeah, we were quite relieved this morning